In a league where quarterback desperation is reaching fever pitch, where every snap feels like a roll of the dice for injured starters, isn't it absolutely infuriating that the one veteran signal caller who could be a genuine lifeline is essentially glued to his bench by a golden handcuff? We're talking about a situation so baffling, so utterly frustrating. It makes you wonder if the NFL's business side has finally outmaneuvered common sense. The gridiron is a battlefield, and right now, the casualty list at the most critical position in football is growing at an alarming rate. Teams are scrambling, fan bases are holding their breath, and the dreams of an entire season hang precariously on the arm of a backup, or worse, a backup's backup. Yet amidst this chaos, a seemingly obvious solution remains tantalizingly out of reach, locked away by the ironclad grip of a contract that has become more of a burden than a blessing. The Atlanta Falcons, and specifically Kirk Cousins, are at the epicenter of this financial and football paradox, a story that has just received a brutal update from the very insiders who usually have their fingers on the pulse of every locker room whisper and front office maneuver. Let's paint the picture, shall we? The NFL, a league built on the shoulders of its star quarterbacks, is currently experiencing an unprecedented wave of injuries at the position. It's a quarterback apocalypse, leaving some of the league's most promising and established franchises reeling. Down in Minnesota, the Vikings, who just drafted their future in J.J. McCarthy, are now watching him mend on the sidelines, forcing them to turn to the enigmatic Carson Wentz. Over in Cincinnati, the Bengals are navigating life without their franchise cornerstone, Joe Burrow, with Jake Browning once again stepping into the colossal shoes of a superstar. The Big Apple's Green Machine, the New York Jets, are still trying to figure out their identity, and now Justin Fields is nursing an ailment, leaving Tyrod Taylor to steer the ship. And in the nation's capital, the Washington Commanders are holding their breath, hoping Jaden Daniels, their electrifying rookie, can return sooner rather than later as Marcus Mariota holds down the fort. This isn't just a few bumps and bruises, this is a full-blown crisis. These are teams, some with legitimate playoff aspirations, suddenly finding themselves in the unenviable position of relying on stopgap solutions. Imagine the pressure, the sheer weight of expectation on these backup arms, knowing that every throw, every decision could dictate the trajectory of an entire season. Jake Browning, for all his flashes of competence, is hardly a long-term solution for a team with Super Bowl ambitions. Carson Wentz, a former MVP candidate, has seen his career take more twists and turns than a mountain road. Tyrod Taylor is a known commodity, a steady hand, but rarely a game changer. And Mariota, while experienced, has had his own struggles with consistency. In the cutthroat world of the NFL, when desperation reaches these levels, teams traditionally start making calls. They scour the league, looking for any veteran presence, any glimmer of hope that could stabilize their quarterback room and keep their playoff dreams alive. And when you think veteran quarterback, a certain name inevitably pops up: Kirk Cousins. The man has proven he can put up numbers, he can lead an offense, and he's got a wealth of experience. It would be natural, almost instinctual for these quarterback star franchises to pick up the phone and dial Atlanta. After all, Cousins was the subject of trade rumors leading into the regular season, whispers that suggested the Falcons might be open to moving on. Could he be the cavalry, the seasoned gunslinger riding in to save a faltering season? Well, if you were holding out hope for that scenario, prepare for a dose of reality as cold as an Arctic blast. The latest word from NFL insiders, the very people who live and breathe these behind-the-scenes machinations, is a resounding, unequivocal no. The trade rumors, which had once again resurfaced like a persistent echo, have been brutally shot down. On the Scoop City podcast, hosted by Diana Rossini and James Palmer, the belief is crystal clear. Kirk Cousins is not going anywhere. When a fan posed the question, asking if the Falcons were even considering moving Cousins to a quarterback-needy team, Rossini's answer was direct and devoid of ambiguity. From what I can gather, the Atlanta Falcons are not trying to move him at this moment, she stated. That's not a maybe or a we'll see. That's a firm stance. And the reason, as is so often the case in professional sports, comes down to one thing: money. a massive, gargantuan contract that has effectively become a golden handcuff, shackling Cousins to Atlanta and preventing any potential escape route for him or lifeline for desperate teams. James Palmer, a seasoned voice in the NFL media landscape, echoed Rossini's sentiment, adding a layer of skepticism about Cousins' long-term viability. There were some people around the league that I talked to that think Kirk Cousins is essentially done, Palmer revealed. This isn't just about his current performance. It's about the perceived value, or lack thereof, when juxtaposed with his colossal financial commitment. The cold, hard truth is that if the Falcons were to trade Cousins, they would incur a staggering dead cap hit of $37.5 million. Let that number sink in for a moment. $37.5 million paid out for a player no longer on their roster. It's a financial albatross, a burden that no sane front office, especially one trying to build for the future, is willing to shoulder. The Falcons are, for all intents and purposes, stuck. They're happy he's there, as Coach Berube might say, but they're also financially tethered. This brutal update isn't just a blow to the quarterback-needy teams. It's a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of NFL contracts. It highlights the often unseen complexities that govern player movement, where the best football decision is frequently overridden by the harsh realities of the salary cap. The Falcons made a significant investment in Cousins, hoping he would be the missing piece to unlock their offensive potential. Now, whether due to unforeseen circumstances, a shift in team philosophy, or simply the brutal math of the cap, that investment has become an immovable object. They can't realistically trade him without crippling their financial flexibility for years to come. So, what does this mean for the teams currently scrambling for a quarterback? It means their options have just become significantly narrower. The dream of a veteran like Cousins stepping in to stabilize their offense, to provide a steady hand during a tumultuous period, has evaporated. They're left to sink or swim with their current backups, hoping for a miraculous turnaround or a swift recovery from their injured starters. The desperation will only intensify, forcing these teams to dig deeper into their playbooks, to lean harder on their running games, and to pray for defensive heroics. It's a testament to the fact that in the NFL, even with all the money and talent, sometimes the most obvious solution is simply not feasible. This entire saga underscores a fundamental truth about modern professional football. The business side is just as, if not more, impactful than the XS and OS. A player's talent, his potential, his ability to win games, all of it can be rendered secondary to the cold, hard numbers on a contract. The Falcons, by signing Cousins to such a lucrative deal, effectively painted themselves into a corner. They bet big, and now, regardless of how the chips fall, they're committed. It's a cautionary tale, a vivid illustration of how quickly the landscape can change, and how even the most well-intentioned decisions can lead to unforeseen and frustrating consequences. In the end, this isn't just a story about Kirk Cousins or the Atlanta Falcons. It's a story about the relentless churn of the NFL, the high stakes of quarterback play, and the often unseen financial shackles that bind teams and players alike. It's a narrative that leaves us with a sense of exasperation, a feeling that while solutions might be staring us in the face, the intricate web of contracts and cap space makes them utterly impossible. The quarterback crisis rages on, and the one veteran who could offer a glimmer of hope remains firmly out of reach, a testament to the brutal, beautiful, and sometimes bewildering business of football. So, what's your take, football fanatics? Are the Falcons making the right call by holding on to Kirk Cousins, or is this a monumental misstep that will haunt them? And for those quarterback-needy teams out there, what's their next move now that a potential lifeline has been cut off? Drop your thoughts, theories, and frustrations in the comments below. If this deep dive into the NFL's quarterback conundrum got you thinking, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive insights and passionate breakdowns of the game we all love.